This video is going to be a little bit more controversial than the one that we did where we were talking about the movies that we liked that others didn't like, because now we're going more against the grain in a more offensive way. Because I just took a peek at your list and I'm like, what? You didn't like that? So it's going to be more, it's going to spark a little bit more outrage.
Stroking the cat backwards, right?
In this video, we're going to be taking a look at our movies that we did not like that are typically considered to be good or popular. Jeremy, I'm going to let you go ahead and start us off here. In any particular order for these movies?
No, they're all equally, I'm indifferent to them. These are movies that are just generally well received that I don't particularly care for.
Yeah, that's fair. Same for my list, too.
All right, to start this thing off, did you see Boyhood?
I did not, but I heard it was revolutionary.
It's debatable. Boyhood in particular was just this bloated vanity project that was like 8 years in the making. He found this child actor.
Really grew up, yeah.
And followed him, well, not followed him around for years, but would periodically get up and make this movie with him. It's very talky, and there are things to appreciate about it from an artistic standard, but the narrative it's just not got anything that really propels it forward.
I'm going to hit off with a little bit of a holiday one. I had too many holiday ones on here, so I had to kind of cut them off, but one for me was the Polar Express. I did not care for the Polar Express. Bree loves it. She hates that I put this on my list, but it just didn't do it for me.
No, if anything, it works more as a horror movie than it does a holiday
movie. You didn't like
movie.
it either?
It's terrifying.
Well, you hate holiday crap anyway.
Yes, bah humbug. No, there's some Christmas stuff. I like the Christmas Story.
Every time I see the scene where the kid has the bell and he drops it through his pocket after he knew there was a hole in his pocket, it's not like it was a surprise. And then they bring him the stupid bell at the end anyway. It's like he didn't deserve the bell.
No.
He broke every rule. Like, what are we doing?
So, Marley and Me, you guys.
That's in that realm of those dog movies coming out now, A Dog's Purpose, A Dog's Journey, that are just garbage, that are just trash. I don't know why people watch them, but they make money. They're cheap to make.
That's just it. And I could have literally put any of those movies in that same spot. They're all the same movie.
I hate them, man.
They're so horribly manipulative. I'm not gonna
they
lie.
are.
I love animals.
Me too.
A dog lover. Yes, we both are dog lovers. I will be in tears watching the trailers for these movies, and I'm like, it's just a cheap trick.
Yeah,
It's a cheap parlor trick. You throw a dog in there. Their life is shorter than ours. You know it's gonna die in the end. You're just watching a movie to ultimately see a dog die.
You know me. You know I typically give movies the benefit of the doubt for the most part. Probably to a fault. I hate these movies, man. I just hate them. They're a waste of life.
So manipulative.
God's Not Dead franchise. I don't like it. Have you seen any of the God's Not Dead movies? Now, I love Jesus, but it does not excuse bad film. They're fundamentalist propaganda. And you might be one. You might love Jesus. That's great. I'm not doubting that. But these movies are not meant to, win over the lost. They have a political agenda.
What do you say to people that are offended by your show because you pray to Jesus in every episode?
Those movies feel very much like they're coming off the same backlot with all these dog movies. It's like you've got a built-in audience. They're guaranteed to emotionally respond to it. You can make them for $20 million and have a huge hit on your hands because churches are going to pay to fill entire theaters with their youth groups and all that kind of stuff. It's happened forever.
Because there are Christian movies that are legitimately good. Passion of the Christ is an amazing film, despite Mel Gibson's history or whatever. I don't know if you ever saw Martin Scorsese's Silence.
Oh, yeah.
Thought-provoking,
Fantastic.
Profound, amazing. Hacksaw Ridge, another Mel Gibson one.
That's actually a really good example of being able to reach out to a broader audience.
That's a very strong Christian-themed film that is a good movie, and I think God's Not Dead is just it's just patting ourselves on the back. Everyone, atheists and Muslims, and they're all going to hell, and we're right, you're wrong, I hate it. And anyway, please don't unsubscribe. Jeremy, you're next.
All right, let's keep it on this saccharine and sentimental crap because that kind of seems to be where our lists are kind of floating.
I think we're detecting the disingenuous motive behind these movies, and I think that bothers us a lot.
I think you nailed it on the head. That's kind of it. It's like, if you're trying to sell it to me, do it earnestly, we were talking about. Don't do it cynically. And I think Blind Side was one of the most gross, offensive examples of white saviorism I've ever seen in a movie. It was so
I actually
gross.
liked Blind Side.
It's so gross.
It's sort of faith film-ish too. It's got a little bit of that too.
And it is positive in some ways. There
But
are
you're right.
positive things about it.
You're right. I see where you're coming from for
it's
sure.
prickly, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you're an impoverished black youth, just know you can always be an athlete. That's the important
That's
takeaway
right.
from
Please
the
don't unsubscribe, for the love of God. This one is a little bit more of...
Excuse me.
This one's a little bit more of one that I'm more indifferent about, as opposed to just I just don't like it. But it's The Hobbit. The Hobbit trilogy, really. I know. Like, I love Lord of the Rings. I prefer them, like, extended edition. Let me watch 4 hours of that. But for some reason, The Hobbit just didn't have the magic that Lord of the Rings did. So I don't not like them. I'm just indifferent about them. They're not like an essential movie watching in the Lord of the Rings category, in my opinion.
There's too many characters. How many of those freaking dwarfs are there? There's like 18 of them. Their names are all exactly the same. It's like Doink and Boink and Toink. You know what I mean?
Fili, Kili, Oin, Loin, Darlin, Balin, Biffa, Buffa, Dory.
Bilbo is definitely a good character that just gets lost in his own movie over and over and over again. Smaug is the all-time greatest dragon ever committed to film.
Yeah, I loved him. Highlight, for sure.
And there is some beautiful cinematography in all of them.
It might be boiled down to just what you said. It could have been just too many characters, so we didn't have enough time to really devote to Bilbo, who we should have been. But yeah, it just missed the mark for me a little bit.
I mean, it's no
much.
Home Alone 3.
Home Alone 3 is amazing. Watch Home Alone 3, please.
All right, guys. And the controversialness just doesn't stop, because I'm going to go ahead and pick on one of the most beloved filmmakers on the entire internet and say Interstellar is overhyped, overly sentimental freaking... It's just so over the top. It's 3/4 of a really good movie, and then the whole like string theory thing and the bookshelf and the what is even happening here?
Dude, this is the one that I will have to disagree with you on, which you knew was coming.
How dare you disagree with me? There are so many things to like about it. It has some really great visual sequences in it.
Christopher Nolan, too. One of the best directors.
And I won't even argue that, but I think what Christopher Nolan doesn't understand quite as well as some of the other greats is the heart, the beating heart, the humanity. His characters are almost written with like this surgical precision, but there's like a wall for me being able to be really emotionally invested in any of his movies.
Let me counter that. What about the scene where, he's staying the same age and everything else is getting older because of, physics or whatever? And there's that scene where he's seeing his daughter get older and he's like crying and stuff because he's never going to be able to see her again.
Yeah, that
what
happened.
About that? What about that?
In the movie. It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay. I almost put Batman Begins on here.
Did you really?
I almost did. You don't know that though.
Because
I was like, no, I like it more than I think. I just didn't like it nearly as much as literally any other movie he's done.
Interesting. And to me, like, I like that one more than the other two Batman movies.
What?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on. This is one that I think is a little bit overly hyped, overly loved, overrated. That's the word. I think it's a good movie, but I don't think it deserves the praise that it gets. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh. Ouch.
Again, a good movie. I think it was revolutionary for the whole stop animation back in when it came out? 89, 90s, something
94?
like that? 94?
I think Hot Topic was built on the back of Jack Skellington, which is ironic because he's very small. But I love this movie, man. Everybody's like Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas because it says Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas, but it was actually like Henry Selick that directed it. I've always been a fan of that gothic sensibility. Tim Burton really fell off for me over the last 15 years or so, very hit or miss, but I feel like there's something just so quintessential about A Nightmare Before Christmas. There's the debate about, is it a Halloween movie?
Is it a Christmas movie? I just don't know why it's considered like the standard, I guess, in terms of good stop motion animation. I don't know. I think some of I think like Chicken Run was like amazingly well done.
No.
Nobody cares about Chicken Run. Chicken Run's a great movie, by the way. That should have been on my other list.
Check it out.
Wait, I don't even know. Do people like Chicken Run? I don't know. I love Chicken Run.
Wait, is that the Wallace and Gromit people?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to watch
Talk
that.
about Wallace and Gromit, man. Like, why aren't they the standard? I think they're stop motion. They did Chicken Run, back in early 2000s, late 90s or something, which was just only a couple years after Nightmare Before Christmas, considerably better. That's just me.
Very controversial stance.
Sorry, I'm getting heated
Very
now.
controversial stance. I saved the movie that I hate the most for last. And I don't think this is a movie that necessarily everybody loves, but I do know that it has its hardcore fans.
Yes, it does.
And I'm going to say Rob Zombie's Halloween. or Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects, or Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, or, no, just any Rob Zombie movie, but specifically Halloween, it was offensive. It is morally bankrupt. There is not a likable person in the entire lot. I was happy to see them die. The only thing that could have made this movie any worse, is if Rob Zombie actually starred in the movie.
Last Halloween, I watched all the Halloween movies because I'd never seen any of them before, including Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2, after watching all of the originals. And I gotta say, I agree with you on this one. I thought that in comparison to like the originals, it was just like unnecessarily grotesque.
Grimy.
And like, I don't mind grotesque or gore or language or saying things that are offensive, but it's just, it gets old when you say it just for the sake of saying it. And that's what like literally every character in the movie did. There wasn't like one guy who was just like the offensive dude. They were all just like unnecessarily. So it just kind of
That's
took me out of
so
it.
true. And if you make a Puritan out of me, you are doing something wrong.
Yeah. Me too. I
love
was like,
bad movies, and like gore, like the gorier the better in some situations. There's that scene at the beginning where Michael's a kid and his crippled father in the wheelchair is cussing out his mother, and it's just so gross. It's like, I remember we got up and we were walking out of the movie theater, and my wife Victoria looked at me and she said, "The next time you want to go see a horror movie, take your brother." And I was just like, all right.
Dude.
So this movie offends everybody.
You made a good point about there not being really any characters that you cared about, like whether it's true. Now that I think it was like, yeah, I guess I didn't really care if any of them lived, which is terrible. In a horror movie, you want to be rooting for the guy the killer's going after, you know, and then secretly love the killer, you know, and you get all his, you know.
There was this sweetness and naivety while also having this strength within Jamie Lee Curtis's take on the character of Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
The new one, that's not there. John Carpenter was really good at tracking shots and building suspense and building tension through not showing a lot. People think of it as being a slasher movie, but there's really not much blood to speak of in the original one. And, you know, as the Halloween series went along, they got worse and worse. But that original one is, to me, it's a classic. And to have somebody like Rob Zombie step in and put his sensibilities into something just seems so antithetical to what the actual project was in the first place.
So my last one is actually a horror movie as well. So, yeah, I got one on here.
Nice.
It's Paranormal Activity. Did not care for Paranormal Activity.
Is it the long silence or the loud, abrupt banging noises that you don't like?
They like did petitions to get this movie in theaters. It was very, very unique, and it was made on like a $10,000 budget, which I respect 100%. And then going back, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see why. Which is terrible because like I would kill to have been in their shoes to make that movie. But there's even one scene in the movie where she's like, oh, the monster's right next to me, and you can feel the guy off camera like blowing, fanning her so her hair's moving. I was like, guys, what is this? It just wasn't scary to me. Maybe that's it.
They lull you to complacency, and then they hit you with a loud noise, and it startles you.
Yeah.
It will make
Jump
you
scares.
jump every single time, but that doesn't mean it's scary. I think you can relate with the fact that I really respect the hustle. Like, that was
I do.
really smart thinking on their part to be able to have this long-lasting franchise off of it. I don't think the first one was the best, but I do think it was kind of groundbreaking.
Any last-minute things?
Thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope you don't hate us too bad.
Yeah, sorry if this was a little too much. Make sure to check out Jeremy's channel. Again, I'll link him down in the description below. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.